Today I'm doing my Pokemon collection! Alright, so stay tuned for some of that. And that is it for my Pokemon toys section. Now let's move on to the next topic. New topic! The Pokemon games. The Pokemon games themselves were a big contributor to my Pokemon obsession. The TV show and the movies definitely had something to do with it, but if it wasn't for the games, I don't think I would be a Pokemaniac. Now I do it with quotations because there are people out there who are more Pokemaniacs than me, but I still say that I love Pokemon, and anyone who loves Pokemon can be a Pokemaniac. Alright, now, disclaimer. All these boxes you see are actually reproductions that I made just so I can have something that looks neat in my collection. I am not playing them off as legit. These in front of me are all reproduction boxes. Okay, just getting that out of the way. Getting started, my Pokemon obsession started with Pokemon Yellow and my very first Game Boy, which was the Yellow Game Boy Color. This is actually my Pokemon game from 1999, and it still works to this day. So this is what really got me into playing Pokemon. Being able to play as Ash with a Pikachu that followed you around. Ugh! Amazing! Now, my brothers actually had these two, and they actually had Pokemon before I did. I remember them saying that the Game Boy is called a Game Boy, meaning it's only for boys. So I remember being really upset by that. But I didn't let that stop me from wanting to play Pokemon. And these are actually their copies of Red and Blue. And the convenience of having two older brothers that were also into Pokemon, and with the fact that Pokemon released like 3 of each game, we actually got like all of these. Red, Blue, and Yellow. Now continuing on with Gen 1 stuff, Game Freak released the Pokemon trading card game, and I believe that was like one of their first spin-off games. With the Pokemon trading card game, I didn't understand how to play. I didn't understand anything about it. The main character looked androgynous. They had a bandana and it had some little hairs. And me being a really young and dumb kid, I thought, hey, this looks like a girl. I'm gonna name that character after me. Which ended up being the first character I thought I was able to play as a girl. Now I realize the character is meant to be a boy and they have this name. I believe the name was like Mark or something. But the fact is that they made it look androgynous, so I was able to play as a girl. So there's that. But I actually did learn how to play the trading card game through this disc. Now this is a computer game where it does have instructions and decks to help you learn how to play the Pokemon trading card game. It also had some mini activities that I can't really remember, and I don't have a PC where I'm able to play this disc now to go back and reminisce. But I do remember that there was this feature where you could have a certificate that says you're a Pokemon Master. And I remember being so excited that I made my brother print out my certificate so I could write my name on it. And it was my very own Pokemon Master certificate. And I wish I could say I still have it, but I don't. Continuing on with these spin-off games, I actually recently picked this up. I wasn't exactly looking for this, I just came across it. Pokemon Pinball. I really like pinball games, so I was really happy to be able to pick this up. And you know what? Add another piece of Pokemon history to my collection. Now, when it comes to Pokemon Gen 1, you can't forget the revolutionary Pokemon Stadium. Now, I have Pokemon Stadium from my childhood. Now, once again, this is a reproduction box that I made. It does fit the game perfectly. The funny thing about the copy that we have for Pokemon Stadium is that it was a property of Blockbuster. So, I don't know if we just rented this so many times from Blockbuster that we ended up accidentally keeping it. Or I know that there were times when Blockbuster would sell you their games. This was definitely before Blockbuster was going out of business, because Blockbuster was still poppin'. But they were making that transition from VHS and old gaming to DVDs. So it's very possible that they were just getting rid of old inventory, and my brother and I ended up with this copy of Pokemon Stadium. And I remember, I think we tried ripping off the property of Blockbuster seal on it, but it ended up peeling off part of the artwork, so yeah, we just decided to leave it how it is. We did also end up with the transfer pack. We also have Pokemon Stadium 2. Now, Pokemon Stadium 2 must have come brand new from the box. You can see that it's still in pretty mint condition. No seal or whatever, and we did get a transfer pack with this one. My favorite thing about the Pokemon Stadium games, of everything about Pokemon Stadium related, was the fact that I was able to plug in my Game Boy games and play on the TV. It was just a great experience. My second favorite thing about the Pokemon Stadium games are the mini games. The battling was great, the animations were great, but the mini games are where it's at. Like, if I could have a panel at a convention where we just compete against each other for these mini games, I think that would just be the greatest panel ever. Now, the last N64 game that I want to talk about that is Pokemon related is Pokemon Snap. I picked this up actually recently at it was like a Tate's Park and Swap type of thing, and there's some like retro games, gaming going on there. Now, I've never played this game before, and it actually, if you look at it, it still looks pretty good. I cleaned the insides, but I don't have the right kind of TV or connectors for my TV to play my N64. So I'm unable to test it out and try it out. Now, once again, this is a reproduction box, not legit. The funny thing is, they recently announced a Pokemon Snap remake. The one that's coming out on the Switch, I do plan on getting and enjoying because it looks beautiful and amazing, so I get to still experience Pokemon Snap. Now that I'm done talking about the N64 games and the original Game Boy games for Pokemon, it's time to get into the big three Johto games. So, once again, reproduction boxes. These are all fake boxes. I made these myself. But these games are legit and authentic. And these are the games that I kept replaying over and over again. Except Crystal. I haven't owned Crystal until recently. I haven't played it yet because I would like to go in and change the battery first, but I haven't been able to go and do that yet. But I'm so happy to be able to add Pokemon Crystal to my collection of Pokemon Johto, since it is the first official Pokemon game to come out where you can choose a female character. Pokemon Silver was my favorite to play. And I mentioned this before, I love Pokemon 2000, the movie. I thought Lugia was the greatest Pokemon legendary ever, which made my love for the games that much more powerful and intense. So these are the games that I kept playing over and over again. Pretty sure a lot of you would say that your first shiny ever was Gyarados. Comment below if your first shiny ever was Gyarados, and if it wasn't, what was your very first shiny? Mine was Gyarados. But it also was a part of the story. Within these generations, I never really came across a shiny, to be honest. So about 7 years after these games came out, 2007 or 8-ish, I was at my friend's house and I had my Game Boy with me and I wanted to show them my Pokemon team. I'm like, I'm so proud of this team. I turn on my Game Boy and there it is. The dreadful new game options, which meant that my save file was gone forever. I didn't know that these batteries died. I didn't know that they wouldn't retain a save file. There was this one time I would have my Game Boy with me and I would play it and I would leave it on, and the whole idea was how far can I get before the Game Boy's batteries die? Never really that far. But I did have a chance to change out these batteries, so now I can actually go back in and play these games and have them have a save file. That's, you know, my experience with Pokemon Gold, Silver, and somewhat Crystal. Moving on, we have the Game Boy Advance games. The games that changed my outlook on Pokemon for many years was Sapphire version. At this point, my oldest brother was done and outgrew Pokemon. So it was between my other brother and we had Ruby and Sapphire. These were our games. I chose Sapphire because I loved how Kyogre looked. My brother chose Ruby, I guess because he liked the red one. I played these games over and over and over again, and then when Pokemon Emerald came out, I remember my parents getting this for me for Christmas, and I remember being so excited. Now, as a kid, with Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, we only had one Game Boy Advance between us. So my brother and I had to share. And since I was younger, I didn't have that many responsibilities, so I actually had the chance to play on our Game Boy Advance more often than my brother. So I really went in and played this story, and I loved it so much. So much so that when Pokemon Emerald came out, my brother and I ended up getting our very own SPs. My brother got the silver one, I got the black one. I still have both of them to this day, but I don't use them as much because since then, I actually modded my Game Boy Advance so I could play on the more ergonomic of the systems for this generation. I had these games for so long as a kid, but there was one thing that I did regret growing older, and that was giving my games away. I gave away my version of Sapphire and Emerald, and I gave them to the same family friends I had that I gave my Pokemon cards to. I gave them away when I was in high school. I believe I was going into 10th grade or something like that, or maybe I was like about to be a junior in high school, and I thought at that point, like, I don't need to play these Pokemon games. Let me give them to them so they could continue the journey, the story, and enjoy the series. I have since then regretted my decision, but I did end up keeping Pokemon Ruby because it wasn't mine to give since it belonged to my brother. I was a little disappointed that when I wanted to go back and replay these games, I ended up having to do the Ruby version rather than the Sapphire version, which I was used to. But I was fortunate enough to have one of my good friends, and she actually gave me her Sapphire, Emerald, and Ruby. And the good thing is, if they ever do want to play them again, we're still really close friends, so I can just say, oh yeah, absolutely, here, take it, play, enjoy. With these games, the batteries did die, and I did have a chance to go to one of my friends to help me change out the batteries. But I'm not done yet, because Pokemon Leaf Green came out, and when this came out, the only people in my family who were still playing Pokemon was me and my cousin. So I never had my own copy, or at least a sibling's copy, of Pokemon Fire Red. With my Leaf Green version, this is like my 2006 copy, and when I opened up this game, there were so many Pokemon I don't even remember catching. Some of them probably hacked from friends, like they gave me hacked Pokemon, because I have random shinies duplicates with the exact same serial numbers, and they have like the Pokevirus, and I was like, oh wow, this seems illegal. Okay. I love this game. It was great. Now, that doesn't mean that I never actually ended up with a Pokemon Fire Red. But the funny thing is, this is a fake Fire Red. I have turned it on and tried it out, and it does play just like a regular Fire Red. But the weird thing about this is that it also sticks out of the Game Boy Advance. So for example, I have a game in here right now. You can see how the game is flush against the top of my Game Boy Advance. It's snug. It doesn't quite fit. It fits very tightly, and it sticks out ever so slightly. Now, I don't know if you're able to tell. Kinda at this angle, you could see that it's sticking out ever so slightly, but just enough for me to know, that's not legit. And I actually had a screwdriver. I was able to take it apart and realize, oh no, it's not legit. Yeah, I have Fire Red now. That looks good with my collection, although I am upset that it's not an authentic copy. Let's get into the spin-off games. Once again, reproduction boxes. Let's talk about Pokemon Pinball first. If you follow me on Instagram, I've talked about this game quite a few times. This is my favorite Game Boy Advance game ever. Nothing is as replayable and enjoyable as playing a simple Pokemon pinball game. This game is just amazing. If you've never played Pokemon Pinball Ruby Sapphire before, it's a must-have on the Game Boy Advance. Just gotta say. The next game I ended up collecting was Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Red Rescue Team. Someone was selling it for a couple of bucks online. I like Macari, so I picked it up. What's funny about this was, remember when Pokemon Mystery Dungeon DX was announced for the Nintendo Switch? Yeah, that was literally a week after I bought this game. Just like Pokemon Snap, I have another spin-off game that's been announced on Switch. And I actually did play through the demo, and I did see the similarities. The demo looks great. I think at this point, I would rather play it on my Game Boy Advance than playing the DX version, although I do like watching people's Let's Plays of Mystery Dungeon DX. And, well, that's it. This is my Pokemon Game Boy and Game Boy Advance collection. I do have the other Pokemon games, but these are the ones that are more near and dear to my heart from my youngin' little childhood. Before we go, I did say that these are all reproduction boxes, but when it comes to Pokemon Silver, I love the game so much that I still actually have the original box. I just don't put it on display with my other ones because if you notice, like here's Crystal for example, the sizing is a hilarious difference. These they don't shine the same as this guy. And yes, it is complete in box, in terrible condition. Actually, it could be worse. But this is my version of Pokemon Silver box from when I was a kid. With another one of my favorite games, of course, I do have the box for this one as well. But if you look, the front of the box got some battery corrosion, and the corrosion just kind of melted away at my box, so rip. But you know what? I still have a pretty decent reproduction. Let's move on to my other games, the DS dual screen Pokemon games. No longer called the Game Boy. Now they're called Nintendo DS's. Let's get to that. Well, that's it for my Pokemon collection. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more videos in the future. Bye!